The Ankylosauria is a well-known family of armored and herbivorous dinosaurs, by far my favorite. Branching from two general categories, the Nodosauridae and Ankylosauridae. Both families are a part of the Thyreophora family, meaning they are ornithischians. The Ankylosauria family provides extensive information on the timeline of dinosaurs through modifications in their bodies via evolution, surviving to the Middle Jurassic era all the way to the canine extinction. In this video, I will be covering the significant findings of this family that shaped our understanding of the Ankylosauria. The Ankylosauridae and the Nodosauridae are often confused for each other. The Ankylosaurus is a hefty tank with a clubbed tail and osteoderms or spikes. They are broad and heavy, with wide triangular heads. Nodosaurids are a smaller and slimmer version of the Ankylosaurus, with smaller osteoderms and no club at the end of their tail, and a more slim-rounded, pear-like shape as a head. The two families are connected by a common transition species. Transition species are an evolutionary phenomenon that take place when an animal's body transitions from one family to a new one over a few generations of natural selection, making it scientifically two different suborders or families. These are incredibly rare to come by, but we can guess what they may have looked like. The Ankylosauria is thought to derive closely from the Huayangosaurus taibai, a stegosaurian that is thought to have also lived in the mid-Jurassic period. From there, the Nodosauridae and Ankylosauridae began to disperse. As of right now, the earliest known member of the Ankylosaurian family tree is the Spicomelus afer. This animal was uncovered at the Middle Atlas Mountains of Morocco, and was found with conical spikes protruding from a rib fragment. What makes this discovery unconventional is the fact that the spikes, or scutes, attached to the body of an ankylosaur would typically be embedded in the hard skin of the animal and not directly attached to the bone. It was at first mistaken as a stegosaurus, a closely related family member of the Ankylosaurus, due to the discovery of the eldest known stegosaurus just found prior on the same site. The shape of the rib was specific to that of both Ankylosaurus and Stegosaurus, but it was agreed on that no stegosaurus has shown similarities with this kind of armor. The significance of this finding comes from knowing that this would mean that this is the oldest known member of the Ankylosaurus family. 167 to 163 million years old, also known as the Mid-Jurassic. The Borealopelta is the world's best preserved dinosaur, a nodosaurid found in north of Fort McMurray, Alberta. It was accidentally uncovered by a mining company, and upon careful extraction they discovered the best preserved dinosaur in history, with body tissue and melanosomes intact. Under a telescope, this allowed us to know what specific color it was, by studying the melanocyte and discovering that the cell produced primarily red pigments called pheomelanin. Pheomelanin. This finding was odd, as the dinosaur was buried in what would have been the bottom of the river at the time of its existence. Among the preserved remains, the Borealopelta's last meal was also preserved. The Ankylosauria was a plant-eating family, so what we found in the stomach was as expected: plants and balls of clay, which would have been used as a digestion tool. The plant remains, however, did not resemble that of prehistoric Fort McMurray, rather plants from western Alberta. So, how did a dinosaur have their last meal in western Alberta and then end up perfectly sealed in the banks of the northeast? Similar to how whales bloat from their stomachs at death, the Borealopelta would have done the same. While its body floated belly up, it would have had to be left undisturbed and gently floated down the river until its stomach bursted, shooting it like a rocket into the bottom and quickly covering it in sand to be protected from scavengers. Millions of years later, we dig it up and uncover the Borealopelta. The Pinacosaurus is an ankylosaurid from the late Cretaceous period that roamed what now is the Gobi Desert in Central Asia. Known for its preserved larynx, it gives us insight as to how the Pinacosaurus may have vocalized. The larynx is an anatomical unit associated with feeding, respiration, and vocalization in tetrapods. The fossilization of a larynx is very rare due to it being made of cartilage in all tetrapods with the exception of neognath birds, which means it may have had an advanced range of sound. Ankylosaurs are in no way closely related to birds, which may have meant that advanced vocalizations may have been a common trait amongst dinosaurs. So those were some of the most relevant findings of this family. I couldn't settle on a single species of Ankylosauria, so I gave myself mercy and decided to do some research on major findings that intrigued me. I now know way too much about this family, and frankly, I ended up discovering some dinosaurs I've never heard of before. And with that is the end of my Ankylo rant. I hope you've learned something new. I sure did, and I might make another one of these videos in the future. Who knows? Bye!